You walk into a room, stop for a second, and realize you have no idea why you went there. That weird little moment can actually tell us a lot about how memory works. And once you see what your brain is doing behind the scenes, it starts to make a lot more sense. In this video, you will learn the main types of memory, how information moves through them, and why each type matters for learning, problem solving, and everyday life. Memory is the ability to hold onto information so your brain can use it now or save it for later. A simple way to picture the process is a path. Sensory memory first, short-term and working memory next, and long-term memory after that. First, sensory memory is the briefest stage. It holds raw sights, sounds, and other sensations for a very short time. Visual traces often last less than a second, while some sound traces can last a few seconds. For example, when a sparkler moves quickly, you may see a smooth trail of light. The light is not really one continuous line. Your sensory memory keeps each tiny visual moment just long enough for your brain to connect them. But sensory memory does not save everything. Attention acts like a spotlight. The information you attend can move forward into conscious use, while most background details fade away. Next comes short-term and working memory. Short-term memory holds a small amount of information briefly. Working memory is the active workspace where your brain uses that information to think, solve problems, or follow steps. Without rehearsal, information in short-term or working memory may fade within about 20 to 30 seconds. Repeating it, using it, or connecting it to something meaningful can help it stay active longer. Working memory also has limited space. A classic estimate is about 5 to 9 items, but a safer takeaway is that working memory holds only a few chunks at once. Strategies like chunking help you use that space more effectively. Here is the trick. If you see separate letters, each one can take up space. But if you recognize two meaningful chunks, like blue and cat, your brain can handle the information more easily. A common misconception is that working memory is only a tiny storage shelf. It is more like a mental workbench. You use it when you follow instructions, plan a task, solve a problem, or compare ideas. So far, we have covered sensory memory, which briefly catches incoming information, and short-term and working memory, which hold and use a small amount of information right now. Want to remember this technique long-term? Tap the link for Quizlet study tools, then jump back into the video. Lock in what you learned and keep going. When information is important, repeated, or meaningful, it can become part of long-term memory. The hippocampus helps consolidate or stabilize many new explicit memories so they can be stored and used later. Long-term memory has a very large capacity, and it includes different categories. Two big ones are explicit memory and implicit memory. Explicit memory is memory you can consciously recall and describe. It is also called declarative memory because you can declare it in words. It includes semantic memory and episodic memory. Semantic memory is memory for facts and general knowledge. For example, knowing a capital city, a vocabulary definition, or the meaning of a concept uses semantic memory. Episodic memory is memory for personal experiences. It is the story-like memory of events you lived through, often connected to time, place, and emotion. Implicit memory is long-term memory that does not require conscious recall. It is also called non-declarative memory because you usually show it through performance rather than explaining it in words. A major type of implicit memory is procedural memory. This is memory for how to do things, like typing, swimming, playing an instrument, or riding a bike. People often call this muscle memory, but the learning is supported by the brain and nervous system. Here is a quick way to sort them. If you can say, I know it, it may be semantic memory. If you can say, I remember when it happened, it may be episodic memory. If you can say, I can do it, it may be procedural memory. Some situations involve more than one memory type. Remembering the day you learned to ride a scooter is episodic memory. Actually balancing and riding the scooter is procedural memory. One event can involve different systems. Let us trace one learning example. First, you see a lab safety rule. Sensory memory briefly catches the words and image. Next, working memory holds the rule while you think about it. Later, long-term memory can store the fact. With practice, following the rule can become a more automatic routine. To recap, memory is not one single thing. Sensory memory briefly catches information. Short-term memory briefly holds a small amount. And working memory actively uses that information right now. Long-term memory stores information for later, including explicit memories you can state and implicit memories you show through skills. If you want to practice what you learned today, check the links in the description for Quizlet's memorization guide and study tools designed to help you remember it longer. Keep learning, keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next video.